We just rocked up to Uluru. In this episode, we're taking you to one of Australia's most famous Indigenous sites and the world's largest single monolithic rock, Uluru. Hey guys, we've just arrived at Uluru. We've started on the Mulla Walk, and let me tell you guys that this place looks impressive from a distance, but when you get up close, it is 100 times better. It just is crazy. So this cave behind me, according to the information board, was like a teaching cave where like grandfathers and stuff would teach the young boys about hunting and ways of life and stuff. And there's actually, as a teacher would use a blackboard at school, there's paintings and stuff all over the wall, if you can see that. Oh, that is so cool. Also, they would use red, yellow and white ochre to use the paintings to paint on the walls. It doesn't say how old these paintings are, but it says from the beginning of time, so probably very, 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 very old. So this area was called the kitchen, and Indigenous women would go out and gather food and bring it back to here and pound certain seeds and stuff on the stones and create flatbread by putting it on coals and stuff like that, really hot coals. And other men would bring meat and stuff like that, and they'd cook it all in this area apparently, and passed all that information down generations and generations. And it looks like a huge wave. So all these information things I'm showing you, just pause the video and just read it. But in short, this cave here was where the old men used to sit, cook up food that the children would bring them, like kangaroo meat and stuff like that. You can see cave art in there, and also the ceiling's black because of the fires from cooking and keeping warm. So I'm just going to read out a little bit of history of how Uluru has formed geologically. This is from the website of Parks Australia. Around 500 million years ago, the whole area became covered in sea. Sand and mud fell to the bottom and covered the seabed, including these fans. The weight of the new seabed turned the fans into rock. The sandy fan became sandstone, Uluru, while the rocky fan became conglomerate rock, Kakadu. 400 million years ago, the sea disappeared. Rocks folded and tilted as the Earth's tectonic plates shifted. Kakadu tilted slightly and Uluru tilted 90 degrees. Over the last 300 million years, the softer rocks eroded away, leaving the spectacular forms of Uluru and Kakadu. Uluru is a type of rock called arkose. Flakes are bits of rock left after water and oxygen have decayed minerals in the rock. The red is the rusting of iron found naturally in arkose, and the grey is the rock's original colour. You can see Uluru's original grey inside many of its caves. This area is called Cantu Gorge, and traditionally was a very quiet place. People would come here to sit and think and reflect on their experiences. There's an interesting thing here. It says, the last emu, we would hide in the trees and wait for the mob of kalaya, which is the word for emu, to come and drink. When they left the waterhole, we would spear the last one so that others would not be frightened of the waterhole in the future. They would just wonder where that emu went. So on this sign it says kapi, which is the word for water. Kapi is life, look up. Imagine a thundering waterfall spilling over the edge above. The massive black stain on the rock is algae growing along the path left from this water. These organisms are living evidence of storms past. There are certain areas in Uluru that you're not supposed to record or take photos of, and they have these signs that clearly show you, but everywhere else that isn't marked with that, you're generally allowed to take photos and video. The Jari have lived here from the very beginning before the Mala people arrived. So the marsupial moles are very secretive, spending much of their time underground, occasionally coming out for the rain. They are blind, have soft golden coloured fur, a backward facing pouch, and are small enough to fit in your hand. Using their front paws like spades, they tunnel horizontally just under the surface in a swimming motion, a unique creature that is perfectly adapted to living underground in sandy deserts. Quick little pit stop break. We've just had some bit of lunch and we're going to make some iced coffees. Cheers. So we're now on the other side around the rock and we've started the Kunea walk, which looks like it goes a little bit more into the valley of the rock. So some facts about the height and size of Uluru. It is 348 metres tall, 863 metres above sea level. The monolith is an oval shape measuring 2.2 miles or 3.6 kilometres long and 2.4 kilometres wide, with a circumference of 9.4 kilometres. Matitulu Cave. At night, around the campfire, generations of our people told stories, teaching the children about this place and painting on the rock. Today, these stories are still kept and handed down to the children. Paddy Uluru remembers painting here as a young boy around the 1930s. This is a good place to stay and rest. We were always travelling. It is a good place to tell stories, to learn about this country. This is the Chicopa Country. Kapi Mutitjulu. Kapi is sacred. This is the most reliable kapi, which means water, around the base of Uluru. In traditional times, Anangu people would sing out kuka kuka and Wanampi would release the kapi and let it flow into the waterhole. As with all water sources in the desert, this waterhole is a place of great respect and treated as sacred. Swimming, polluting or scaring the animals would threaten the survival of the people. Today, wildlife still depend upon it for survival. Can you guys just imagine water coming from the sky all the way in the distance down, like a big waterfall coming down that slope, through those valleys, down to here. And can you guys see the water line? That's where it would have been in the not too distant past. Hey guys, that's all we're doing for Uluru today. Next we're going to do the Olgas. And if you are coming to the NT, definitely make sure you come to Uluru and the Olgas because they're so spectacular and a million times better in person. You really can't get a sense for how beautiful and big this rock is from a screen. You have to be here in person to really feel it.